Hello and welcome once again to the Waters and Stanton video channel. This is another news item actually. It's about Icom. You know, nobody can accuse Icom of dragging their heels. They've been very progressive throughout the whole of their life really. And if we go back, 5-6 years now, the IC7300, that was a tremendous step forward for ham radio HF operators. An SDR transceiver that was all in one box. You didn't need a separate PC, and it came in at a pretty competitive price. It changed the thinking of HF radio, and it brought SDR to the reach of those that didn't want a separate computer to operate the radio system. They wanted it all in one box, and Icom delivered an SDR transceiver all in one box at a very competitive price, and even today it still sells very well. Yaesu played catch up with the FTDX10, and there's got some slight differences on the front end of the FTDX10 and a very successful transceiver, but Icom were the leaders in that switch over to SDR in a box. Well, now Icom seem to have turned their attention to a different part of the radio spectrum. The other end of the radio spectrum, 2.4 gigahertz and 5.6 gigahertz. Wow, a long way from the HF spectrum and quite a distance from the VHF spectrum. Interestingly enough, they seem to be using the IC705 as the basis for it. Now, when I say the basis for it, it's the case, the actual enclosure of this possible new radio is going to be based around the IC705. Now, I know Icom do announce products very far in advance. In this case, I think they're just sort of tempting us. They're actually telling us what they are looking at, and I guess by telling us what they're looking at, they can see what sort of reaction. But from the photos that have been leaked out so far, it does seem to be that this is a serious product, a serious project. Let me just show you a few photographs just to tempt you and to let you know what we know. So let's take a look. The Icom SHF project. Yeah, wow. So let's take a look at what we do know about this project. At first glance, it looks like an IC705, and the case is clearly an IC705 case. But as soon as you look at the frequency display, you realise that it inside is not an IC705. It's a brand new transceiver, or at least this is the driving unit. And interestingly, there's the spectrum display on there. Now, a spectrum display is going to be incredibly important for operating up at these sort of frequencies, hunting out signals. You could spend all day tuning up and down, but if you can see a spectrum display, then it'll alert you when there's a signal there and help you, of course, to adjust your antenna, because we'll be talking about dish antennas. And interestingly enough, Icom have actually shown a picture of a dish that would be required for these sort of frequencies. Now here you see the main units, the amplifier and receiver unit for 2.4 and 5.6 gigahertz, and whatever is in the IC705 case will drive that unit. And here you can see some different shots of that unit, so Icom are pretty definite that they're going to produce this item, I think. Now, at these sort of frequencies, the losses on coax cable are enormous at 2.4 and 5.6 gigahertz. So this unit will be installed at the top of the mast, and the 705 enclosure will feed the signal up the cable, where it'll operate on a much lower frequency, and therefore the loss will be much less. So, it's an interesting project, isn't it? I'm not sure what the time scale is on it, and of course things change, but it's encouraging that Icom are looking to the future and are looking to invest money in the ham radio market, because it's very important that Icom and Yaesu are prepared to continue investing money in our hobby. Without those two companies, we'd be in a very different place. And it's encouraging, isn't it, that China are concentrating on the budget end of the market. It means to say that, if you're working on a bit of a budget, you can still buy yourself an HF transceiver. I've been using the G90 now for some while. It's a nice little transceiver. It's been around for a while, but it still fulfills its function. 20 watts, 160 meters to 6 meters, built-in antenna tuner unit, colour display, spectrum display. It's a good price. And then, of course, there's some portable radios. Check out the Xiegu X6100. It's on our website as well, and that's been having a lot of success. And of course, don't forget, if you're in the QRP market, Elecraft, the KX2 is still selling very, very well, because it's a very advanced portable HF transceiver. So there we are, a news item, interesting news item, and we just follow it and see what happens. I'm sure that if Icom have leaked this information out, they're going to go there. Thanks for watching this video. You take care. See you in the next video.